Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Lara Sturm.
Welcome to episode 181. How are you, Josh Rohr?
181, my weight class.
Well, coincidence? I think
we've been doing this podcast for over 2 years just so we can get to episode 181.
That's it.
So this will be our last episode. We've done it.
Or Josh, you could just go up a weight class.
Well, I have. and technically I probably am up a weight class right now, so whatever. Nice. And
so
this
what's
light
going on?
This light makes me look balding, like I'm balding.
You're not?
I mean, I guess I am. Thank you.
That's just what I thought as soon as I signed on. I was like, damn, Josh really shaved his head.
Yeah. Well, it's summer. It's about time.
Hi.
Have you heard any updates on like the investigation into Wada?
I read an in-depth article about it, but it didn't seem like anything was really changing. I did hear something about Wada people were not wanting to visit the United States because they thought that they could be subpoenaed, indicted. They're scared to step foot on the U.S. soil. I was like, whoa, that's a little crazy.
Yeah, that's a little crazy, but like, if you're genuinely afraid of coming here, like, what have you done?
Yeah, and really, it's about drug-free lifting, or drug-free everything, sports, drug-free. Yeah. Like, I just don't understand how it's just that complicated. I mean, that's just me. I'm naive.
Maybe I am too. I don't know, but like, I don't see why it can't be that way.
Right. Politics and money. That's why.
Lawyers, guns, and money.
Yeah, pretty much.
What song is that the name of the song? Do you know that song?
Yeah. Can't remember who does that.
That's the only part I know.
There was a swimmer that was quoted saying, yeah, like it's kind of demotivating. You know, here we are at the Olympics, and do I feel like it's a level playing field? Not really.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of sad.
I did see a quote from Michael Phelps the other day. Basically, he was, I don't know if he was testifying before Congress, or I don't know how that works, but basically the quote was, if you test positive, you should never be allowed to come back and compete again, cut and dry. I believe one and done. I don't know if I disagree with that. There are things like, I guess my only hesitation with that is like, there are situations where like people take a tainted supplement or something and it genuinely is not not their intention to cheat. So like, I think there can be exceptions. I shouldn't say exceptions, but like, that still comes with a 4-year ban. And then, you come back
Right.
And you're randomly tested. If you're clean, then you compete again. But I also know people that, I don't know them. I know of that people that, fail a drug test and then they're clean for a couple of years and they fail again. They just got away with it for a couple of years. So they actually had no intention of being clean. One and done would apply to them. I would have no hesitations there,
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think it's as complicated as I don't think it needs to be as complicated as it's being made. I don't know that. I don't know. Like if somebody asked me, like, do I believe in one and done or not? In general, I believe in second chances. Like as a general rule, I believe in giving people second chances. But if you intentionally, here's the thing: if we could figure out a way to distinguish two categories, people that intentionally cheated, one and done for them, get the hell out. People that like somehow had a tainted supplement or whatever, that was not their intention to cheat, or nobody in their circle was intending to cheat, I believe in second chances, but like there's no way to distinguish that. So
Right.
that's the only part that I'm on the fence about with the one and done
Right.
thing, I guess.
And I do think we should be completely transparent with like what you're testing for and what the results are and what those,
Right.
and what happened, and have that be publicly available so people can see what happened. Like there's some controversy as well over, I think there's an athlete from Algeria and maybe there's one from China, about competing in women's boxing, but they had been disqualified from some championships like a year before because there was an undisclosed gender something, levels were too high, or they didn't even say what the test was, right? So they got banned. And there's a lot of controversy about that because people are like, well, then they're trans athletes and these are men, and like there's no proof of that.
Right.
Um,
So I went down this rabbit hole too. And it started like I didn't even know about it until everybody started posting that there's a transgender uh female like destroying women and all these people are posting it. Then I started looking into it and it's like, okay, first of all, the athlete's not transgender.
right.
The other thing is, so I went down the rabbit hole of the of this test that they did. And supposedly it was done by Russia, and at the time of the disqualification, that athlete was set to fight a Russian boxer.
Hmm.
So basically, Russia disqualified their
The
athlete's
competition.
competitor. Yeah, and there's
Wow.
no like, there's no
Surprise.
right, there's no public like record of it. So like, that I could find, maybe it's out there somewhere, but
Right.
the part that was disappointing was just like everybody jumping to conclusions,
Yeah,
sharing everything,
the
and
internet's been
I wasn't even necessarily going to talk about it on here because like I don't know all the facts. So like I mean I'm just talking in generalities here,
right.
but I think it would be unfair and irresponsible to like state my opinion on the whole matter because like I don't know the facts.
Right, right. But I think there's a lot of people on the internet
Oh, there's
that
a
have
ton of
stated
people
an
that
opinion without knowing the facts. And how could we know the facts if that's not even disclosed publicly, what the test was, what it was, who did it? Like what you found was more than I found. And I did a little rabbit hole with that too. I'm like, well, what's the test? Nobody can say. I'm like, well, how can we all jump on the bandwagon and like this is unfair when we don't even know what happened?
and I did see the other thing I found. I did find the video of that fight that everybody was saying, and it was fairly even, and it wasn't bad. Like the lady that quit the fight, like she kept going to the side and like having to mess with their headset, like her headgear, and again, these are articles headlines I saw because I didn't read everything, but supposedly based on one headline, again, this is probably true, probably not true, who knows, that she was complaining about her headgear before the fight even started, and that gave the illusion of her like not like wanting to quit or something. I don't know, like
Right,
it doesn't add up because that fight was not a beat down like all the headlines saying. Like it looked like
right,
a even whatever. And I'm not a fight
right,
expert, but like I know when somebody's getting their ass kicked, and that was not somebody getting their ass kicked.
right. And after the events, people, were talking about her crying, but she also said, well, I think she was a great competitor and I hope she goes on and wins gold. Like you don't say that about someone that you think was cheating.
Right. And
So
also like if you lose in the Olympics, like it's okay to cry because that's disappointing. Like you
yeah.
trained for 4 years of your life for that. Like, well, more
Oh,
than that. Just because she's crying, it's because yeah, that
right.
those are
This,
different things that are being spewed together for
yeah.
agendas. But
It felt like the internet just took a snippet out of context and kind of ran with it, and
yeah,
nobody was looking at
oh,
what the facts really
absolutely.
were. And that's how it's going to be remembered. So,
Right. And we still don't know all the facts, and yeah, it's just sad on multiple fronts, I guess, with the way that spread.
yep,
Um,
that's them internets for
and the
you.
way people are still arguing about it. Like I have good, like I'm not going to say any names, but like I have good friends that I'm seeing them post these things, and then arguments between friends of mine going back and forth. And it's just like, this is not exactly how we should be
Mm.
handling ourselves, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway,
thanks for bringing that up. Um,
you're welcome. Sorry.
all right, other things. I have been posting on the Team Roar Instagram story for 2 weeks. And this is going to apply to you because I'm sure you haven't seen it, but I'm trying to make a rack height conversion chart. So I need people to take measurements, like different height settings of all different brands of racks. I know you have a Sam Hill barbell rack, so
Mm.
I will put this in ball in your court. I need measurements of that thing. But what I'm trying to do is just get measurements of different hole settings. There's a Google form to fill out. It's not too elaborate, so that I can just like make a chart that's like, okay, if you're rack height 15 on an ER rack, this is your rack height on every other single rack. So people that don't have access to, the brand being used in competition, they can still figure out their rack heights without having to necessarily get their rack heights.
Oh,
Um,
clever.
but even if people want to still get their rack heights, it's a lot quicker if you think you know them and you just want to double check them real quick versus like going through all these different settings. It would just speed up the process for everybody. So we're going on 2 weeks, and I had a ton of people like hit the like button when I shared it, reposted it, but not one person has submitted a rack height yet. So
Oh,
I can't make a chart. I have ER racks, rack heights, but I have, I want to get like the Elite Fitness one, the Sam Hill barbell, the Rogue rack, the TSS rack, the Eleiko rack. Like I want to get all those and just have one chart that has all of them. But like, short of me driving to different gyms that have them, it would be much easier if somebody would just take a couple measurements. It'll take less than 5 minutes. Submit them in the Google form, and then I'll do the rest of it. But
so where do we find said Google form?
Uh, so I keep posting it in my stories. It's on the Team Roar page. It's also, if you click the link in my bio in the Team Roar Instagram page, there's a big button that says submit rack heights. And then you can also go to the Instagram story highlights in Team Roar, and there's one that says rack heights, and you can click it and it has the link in the story that you can just click. So it's the easiest way probably to get to it.
Okay.
Trying to make it like it literally as easy as possible, but it's still.
I'm never on social media.
Right, you've never seen
Yeah,
it, but like a
right.
lot of people have seen it, liked it, even sent me a message saying, "Yeah, I'll get to it. I'll do it this tomorrow when I go to the
Mm.
gym." That was 2 weeks ago. So, yeah. Maybe somebody like this is a project like I think would be cool, but at the end of the day, like I'm gonna shut it down if people
Mm.
aren't gonna submit stuff because like at the end of the day, it's more to help everybody else, not specifically me. So,
Right. Well, I mean, the problem is when you crowdsource something and everybody thinks that somebody else is going to do it, then nobody does it.
yeah.
I
Well,
see it all the time.
that's why we'll start with you. I'm gonna say the Sam Howell barbell rack. That is your
Okay.
responsibility, Lara.
My
Yep.
assignment. Okay.
Um,
So you just need to assign the other ones.
yeah. So the Cargills are supposedly doing the Eleiko rack because they have the Eleiko racks. Um, Matt Gary offered to do ER racks, but I already have the ER racks. Trying to think who else said that they would help out. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of who else, but I'll have to go back through my messages and just be like, hey, so what's the
Where is
what's
that?
the yeah. Oh, Molly was gonna do the Rogue rack. She said she's got one at her gym,
Okay.
but that still has yet to be seen, Molly.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
And then we have just last week to submit the karaoke songs. Top 5 karaoke songs that you want to sing or you have sung. You're willing to sing. You wish you could sing.
you wish you could sing.
Yeah.
Well, now we're stretching it, but whatever. We'll
Well,
we'll take what we can get because there's only I believe there's only 4 people that have submitted so far.
all
So
right. I'm putting it on my to-do list. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm one of those people. I'm a procrastinator. There you go.
Oh, we're up to 5 now. Jeff
Ooh,
Robeson submitted one, so we're up to 5 now.
all right, Jeff.
Oops, I'm not sure I was supposed to say people's names yet.
Damn it. Josh, do better.
Maybe it wasn't Jeff Robeson.
Definitely was not Jeff Robeson.
Oh shit. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, so August 10th is the deadline. Get those in. Where you can find that. That's also in if you go to Instagram PL Ballads Podcast, the link in our bio has a direct link to the Google form to fill out. And there's also a highlight in our stories. Is that how you say it? Highlight, the Instagram highlight. If you go to PL Ballads Podcast, that is where you can submit your top 5 karaoke songs. So there's really no excuse. Please do that. Or we will have a tournament of 5 people, 6, 7 if you and I submit ours.
What do you mean if?
Well, you're right. When?
Yes.
But we both got to do it too. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Other deadlines. The NGB National Governing Board meeting. The deadline for submissions for executive committee, secretary, treasurer, athletes, reps, and the honorary awards like Brother Bennett, Coach of the Year, etc. Those are all due by August 9th. There is if you go to usapowerlifting.com, you can find the link in the news feed there to submit those. So if you know anybody that you want to nominate for those honorary awards or for one of those elected positions, please do so. If you're interested in running for one of those positions, please do so. It only makes things better if the pool is deeper of candidates running. So please do that. Other deadlines, regional bids for 2025. They're due August 31st at 10 p.m. If you want more information about hosting one of the regional meets, again, we're down to 5 regions in 2025 because of the realignment. You can find the information at usapowerlifting.com/regional. So we would love to see some people submit bids for that. Let's see what else we got. Pro Series stuff. 3, 4. We're down to 4 events before the pro finals. So we got Korea Nationals August 24th and 25th, Raw Nationals September 5th through 8th. The Bench Press World Cup is October 19th through 20th, and Australia Nationals is October 26th and 27th. So basically, as soon as Australia Nationals finish up at the end of October, we will know for sure who the people are that qualified for the finals, and we will have, those names and roster out. But so with the World Bench Press World Cup, the just for people to know, the top 3 best lifters get a pro card. So that's in the open raw and open equipped, and also masters raw and masters equipped. So it's top 3 male, top 3 female in each of those categories overall. So best lifter. So if you are in the bench press world and want to try to get into the bench pro series finals, that is basically the last event for bench press only lifters to make the final. So check that out.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So I see that we have a powerlifting situation. Are you ready to answer this question, Josh?
I suppose.
So here's the situation. You're 4 weeks out from your next meet. You have always competed in the 82.5 kilo class, and you have your sights set on a PR total. But today your coach asked you to compete in the 90 kilo class because it'll help with the team points. What do you do? Bum, bum.
Bum. I think there's a lot of things at play. I think so. We posted this yesterday on social media, and there were back and forth comments. Some were like, "Yeah, take one for the old Gipper," or something like that. Another one said, like, "Your coach clearly doesn't have your best interest at heart. Fire them and find a new coach." So I would say those are probably the 2 biggest extreme different opinions there. Here's what I think. I think as a coach, the coach should always have the athlete's interest first, because at the end of the day, this isn't really a team sport. It is pretty much an individual sport. However, if, for example, this athlete is already qualified for nationals, or, there's, or, whatever it is, my hang up on this one is the athlete's goal is hitting a PR total. So if their goal is to hit a PR total at the 82.5 kilo weight class, obviously going up a weight class kind of changes that a little bit. So there's got to be a conversation there. And, if that is truly important to the lifter to do this, then I don't think the team points are worth it. On the flip side, if the lifter's like, yeah, I'm not tied to the weight class necessarily. That's just where I've always competed. I just really want to hit a PR total. There's nothing on the line in terms of, any records. There's nothing on the line in terms of qualifying total. Again, we don't know those things, but if that's the case, then, I don't think put it this way, I don't think it's an unreasonable thing for the coach to ask this, but there needs to be that trust between the coach and lifter that the lifter can say, yeah, I'll do it without feeling like they're being pressured to do it, or no, I don't want to do it. And the coach would be okay with that. So I think I didn't really give an answer, I guess, yes or no, because I have asked lifters to do this. I've had some that, said, yeah, I'm willing to do that. And I've had others say, no, I don't want to do it because of this reason, that reason, or just because, no, I don't want to. That's where the conversation ends.
Right.
Like, it's not something like, well, come on, why don't you, that's overstepping as a coach.
Yeah. Great. So the answer is it depends.
Yeah, the answer is I think it's okay to ask as long as you've established that trust where it's not like you're not running it like a dictatorship, because if you're running it like a dictatorship, like if everything is like you're going to do it this way, it's my way or the highway, and then I'm like, hey, can you lift up a weight class? That's not an actual question. That's a me saying, hey, you're going up a weight class, but I'm going to make it your decision, but you have to do it. Like, that's different. That's not cool.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
What would you do? What do you think?
Kind of the same. I mean, if it was something that, my goal was to hit that PR at that weight class, I'd be like, oh, sorry, no, that's not really what was in the cards, But if it's like, well, I've got another meet right after that, and I can drop back down and hit that PR total at that weight class, then no harm, no foul. Sure. It depends.
And I've been on this end of it, as a coach, and I've also been the lifter that has been asked to go up a weight class for team points. So I've been asked once to do this, and that was for the 2012 Battle on the Border. I think you lifted at that one,
Yep. My first
but
meet.
we needed a heavyweight equipped lifter, and I was a 181 lifter, and the heavyweight started at 220 weight class. So I ate my way up. I was okay, put it this way. I was a 181, but I was lifting as a light 198, so I weighed about 192 to 195. So I gained enough weight and drank enough water right before weigh-ins to weigh like 198.9 or something like that, or 199.0, just to get into the 220 weight class. 14 points. Like, I had nothing on the line. I was already qualified for nationals at the weight class I wanted to compete in, whatever. So I did it. And when that was the one and only year that Georgia won the Battle on the Border, which is traditionally a North Carolina, South Carolina uh, competition.
So not saying it was because of you,
But it was because I'm just kidding. A lot of people did stuff like that to check off the boxes and lift in the categories that were being scored. So I was one piece of that, but there were a lot of people that lifted in specific divisions or weight classes to make sure we checked all the boxes.
took home the trophy that
Took home the trophy. Yep.
year.
Yeah. That was a fun meet.
Yeah, it was. Good time. So now I have a new lifter tip. The tip: be patient with setbacks. Sometimes injuries occur. Ignoring them is not the long-term solution. Attack them like you would normal training. It's difficult and frustrating, but facing them head on is the way to go.
Yeah, this is I think important because we have a couple people on our team that are dealing with little things, and it is frustrating. And as power lifters, we just want to lift heavy, right? As as somebody that's been there, like, I get it because I've gotten hurt just ignored it for a couple months, started lifting heavy again, got hurt again. As a lifter, it's very hard to get your mind around like stepping back from that, but it is necessary. And, to really get to that top level, one has to be willing to step back and address these issues. So I guess this one is kind of maybe meant to be encouragement to, few people on our team, but I know there's a lot of people out there that have had setbacks that, many have never had any type of injury or setback ever before. So, this is all new and uncharted territory, and it's really hard to trust that it'll be okay on the other end of it. And I guess this is just encouragement, I guess. Yeah.
Agree.
That's all I got.
Me too.
Cool. All right. Well, so I guess the most important thing that we talked about today, there's a lot of deadlines coming up. The most important one is submitting your karaoke song. Yeah, the NGB deadline's important, but let's be honest, the karaoke song list is
much
is
more
up
important.
there. Yeah.
Much more.
In terms of prestige, at least, right?
All right. So this time next week, we will tell you how many people are actually in the running, and
we'll start
looking at that.
Yeah, start going through the lists, and then we'll get our voting going.
Nice.
So as of right now, did you have a hat to show people or no?
Oh, I totally forgot.
That's all right. It's not a big deal.
No, it is a Richardson hat. I did confirm that.
So hat people, that potentially means something to you.
Yes.
It means nothing to me. I don't know what that is. So
trust me, it's a good hat.
Good hat. Cool. So you get a Team Roar drawstring bag, a Richardson hat that is Executive Arbor.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you would even say it?
Executive Arbor.
Hat that is. Well, I know it's Executive Arbor, but like
Executive Arbor tree care.
Tree care on a Richardson hat. Would that be the right way to say it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So is that like the equivalent of like saying like, it's a Team Roar shirt on a tri-blend?
Yes.
Versus like, okay, that makes sense. I was trying to figure out what a Richardson hat meant, but it's a brand or style or something.
I think it's a brand.
Okay.
Yeah. Premium.
Anyway, premium. Okay, so it's a great hat, and then you also get some lifting jewelry from Ann Peden. So
nice.
Those are the current prize pool items. If anybody else has anything they want to donate to the prize pool, let us know. And until next week, we will see you all later.
Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.